Welcome back to the Classically Urban Podcast. It's your boy, Baby Ice Cube. God, I can't talk. With me today, I got my two guys.
Hi, my name's George.
And I'm Phil.
All right. Well, today, people, I'm very excited. Would you like to know why?
Nuclear war with North Korea?
No, that's boring. This is some monumental stuff for my peoples. Okay. Monumental. The police have finally started taking out white people, and I'm happy about it because y'all know my pain now. It's the end of the world is coming, y'all. It's happening. They starting to arrest their own for no reason. Y'all understand my struggle now, okay?
Give some context.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
We know what you're talking about.
Phil has no idea what I'm talking about. But this is kind of a shitty situation. But I'm happy because finally, y'all understand. This story from Salt Lake City, Utah. Utah, choked on my own spit there. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, again. There was apparently a bad car accident or some type of accident, and the officers had brought the two people in, and they thought they wanted blood tests drawn because they wanted to prove that the guy was not under the influence, who was unconscious. Do you know what the problem with that is?
They didn't have a warrant. He wasn't under arrest.
And he didn't have consent.
Yeah.
So, three basic, simple laws. Everybody knows you cannot take someone's blood without their consent, or they're under arrest, or they have a warrant. Why did this police officer in Salt Lake City, Utah, in the University Hospital, demand a nurse get his blood without his consent?
He might have hit a cop.
No, I mean I don't know who. They didn't really say who he hit.
Yeah.
But it was to prove that he wasn't under the influence. So, this lady was like, she called her boss because the cop was demanding that he had implied consent and that she take the blood sample. She called her boss and was like, these are the agreements your police department has with this hospital. We cannot take blood unless one of these three requirements are met. None of these requirements were met, so I'm not taking his blood. And this cop was like, "So you're not gonna comply?" And she's like, "No, I'm not assaulting one of my patients. No." And her boss was on the phone. He's like, "Sir, you're making a huge mistake here. You're threatening a nurse who's just trying to do her job." And the cop, after he said that, the cop was like, "You know what? We're done here," and then just started to arrest her. Like, grabbed her arm, put it all the way up in her back, like chicken winged the shit out of her, dragged her out the hospital, put her up against the wall to get the other arm, and then put her in the car. Said, "You're under arrest."
And that's when the hospital security guards stepped in.
Yep.
And we're trying to talk to him.
Yep. What is going on with y'all people, man? Y'all attacking each other now?
No, it's just cops in general.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Just police brutality is police brutality. Here's the thing. Is this going to help your people at all?
No, it's
at
not.
all.
It's
Because
not.
here's the thing. It's one instance.
I know.
If you need,
But it makes me feel better inside, you know? Knowing that y'all two get these hands from these cops, too. It's good
so
to
you
know.
have no empathy for your fellow man, regardless of race?
Shit. Dude, listen. Y'all, there are white people out there who just think we crying about this bullshit. Nah, it's real.
All right.
And it's happening. Now it's happening to y'all, so y'all are going to understand very quickly.
No, they won't.
Shut up.
Because it's one instance.
It's happened to me many times.
See?
You were
Getting
assaulted.
getting pulled over for no reason.
That's different, though.
At the
That's
same
very
spot every time.
But this lady was, like, put in a car and arrested for doing her job.
This woman was assaulted.
For real, because she was assaulted by a police officer because she wouldn't assault her patient.
He lost the job.
Did
Thank
he?
God.
Yeah.
Thank God,
Because his victim was white, but
wow, oh my God.
I'm
No,
sorry.
did you see
I'm sorry.
Did you see the other video that came out? It was a body cam footage from a cop.
yeah.
No, different one.
Oh, there's a different one.
Different story.
Oh.
Yeah. Basically, this lady's in her car, like, freaking out, and he's trying to calm her down. And he says, "You have no reason to be afraid. Like, you've seen the news. We don't shoot white people."
Oh yeah, T even told me about that.
But he was saying that because she was freaking out, thinking that she was going to get shot. And, like,
That's
he was
still-
just...
That's still not okay, Phil.
He wasn't saying it like he actually meant it.
It's still
But he
not
was
okay.
referencing,
It's
like,
still not
all
okay,
the
Phil.
stories you see on the news. And
It's still not okay.
yeah, I know.
I
I
can-
understand that.
he
You
prob-
should be like, we don't shoot people for no reason. That's what he should have
Yeah.
said if he really wanted to be honest with me.
he was probably trying to calm her down, like, "Hey, we only shoot black people." You still shouldn't fucking
That's
say
not
that.
a good joke.
As an officer of the law, you shouldn't joke about that shit.
As an officer, though, you should never joke about shooting anybody.
Yeah.
Like, that's not something that's not in your job description whatsoever. But yeah, I was like, when I saw this, I was like, man, this is really fucked up for this lady to go through this. But thank God, finally, now white people can see one of their own on the news getting assaulted by a police officer, and they can start taking this more seriously now.
They're not.
Maybe they will, George. Why don't you let me have faith, okay?
Because, dude, I know people. People are shitty. Here's what they're gonna see.
How many people do you know?
Quite a bit. You want me to check my Facebook friends?
That doesn't mean anything.
Anyway, people are shitty. They're not gonna see that and think, oh, white people are now under threat. Okay, this is one white person under threat. They're not gonna change their attitudes on police brutality, especially regarding black people, because people at the end of the day are tribal and selfish. It doesn't affect them or their group.
Which is dumb.
Yeah.
But this is affecting the group now because they assaulted a white lady.
Affect one member of their group.
A blonde-haired, blue-eyed white lady.
But just one member.
Who was a nurse.
But just one member.
Shit.
Dude,
Whatever.
Nurses do so much meth, it's not even funny.
What?
Elaborate.
Easy access to drugs.
Oh.
Oh, God.
My God. You're Phil.
I
Just
highly
like,
doubt they have,
just like apparently, there's a really big issue with people renting U-Hauls and just not returning them.
Oh, God, he's going into
Why?
this already.
Apparently that happens.
Why would that happen? Like,
I don't
people
know.
steal
but
U-Hauls? Like,
yeah.
It's how they make food trucks.
Just moved yesterday, rented a U-Haul, and when I was returning it, I returned it to the wrong spot, so I had to drive all the way back down to the one I got it from.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm just glad it didn't get stolen. I already had 2 reported stolen this morning.
Oh,
I'm like,
oh my God.
And I sat there and talked to her about it. I'm like, geez. And she's like, yeah, it happens a lot more often than you would think.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you just rent a truck and then just never return it. Like,
What purpose will they have for that?
Food truck.
What?
well, it still has to be plated and registered.
Like,
I mean, unless they're taking them all the way down to Mexico and bringing Mexicans back. Like, I don't. How do you hide a 26-foot long U-Haul?
The same way you hide a bunch of Mexicans in
Well,
a
actually,
truck.
you could probably hide. It'd probably be pretty easy to hide it right out in the
If
open.
if you just like,
as
you
long
can
as
just
you
like,
didn't like park it in your driveway every day.
Yeah. And as long as you don't get pulled over for being doing something stupid,
Yeah.
Just think someone's moving their shit.
hiding in plain sight, man. It's the easiest way to hide. How many people do you actually think are like hiding in plain sight? It's not. It
I
can't
might be.
It can't be that many, right?
No, there's probably a lot.
Is there? Because you always see that in TV shows, like people who are like wanted or have warrants or whatever. They're like basically hiding in plain sight.
Well, in a sense, it would work. I mean, how many people are actively looking for criminals?
I mean, the police are. That's their job.
Yeah, the police. You can spot a cop real easy. They have a
That's true.
uniform and all that.
That's true. Undercover though, you never know.
True.
But I'm just like I'd be interested to see like the number of the U.S. population, like of the U.S. population that has some crime that they've committed. What percentage of those people are like actually hiding in plain sight? You know?
Yeah.
That aren't like actively like hiding out in like a hideout somewhere, if they're just like just living their everyday life like nothing's going on.
Well, it's like this one Hispanic dude I worked with. He got a few too many DUIs and had to go to court. He disappeared.
What?
3 months later, we found out he moved to New York and changed his name.
He must be pretty easy to find then if you can figure that out.
Well, no, he contacted one of the guys I worked with.
It's a bad move. Now they can find him.
For real though.
Not really, because they're not going to come to our work just to find him.
That's true. But back to this Utah story. Basically, the police department were like, the cop was like, because when you take a blood sample and you need evidence from that, it basically is deteriorating every minute, like rapidly.
Yeah.
So he was on a time crunch. However, implied consent does not apply in this situation whatsoever. And so he's like, I need this blood sample because I was like, no, you're wrong. You don't get it. Get over it. You don't get to arrest people just because you want what you want. And what made it worse was he was like one of those. This is probably gonna be super stereotypical of me, but he's one of those white dudes with the bald on the top of his head, but long hair on the sides, and like a beard. I'm like, bro, you look just disgusting. He looked like somebody who's doing stupid shit all the time.
If you're gonna have a power donut, you gotta
Is that what they call it?
That's what I call it. You can have a power donut. Trim that shit up,
That's a
dude.
great name, a power donut. Oh my god, that's funny.
What bugs me is like how over the top cops go sometimes.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, driving to the new place. Well, no, this would have been Friday. All of a sudden, shit ton of traffic out of nowhere.
Yeah.
No, I'm just cruising along and 7 cop cars and 2 tow trucks for 1 car.
What?
They had 3 kids handcuffed on the hood of the car.
Oh my gosh.
7 cop cars, dude.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know if we've already told this story, but they brought out like 3 cop cars for us. One of them was the chief of police
Like
Yeah.
why?
for like 2 14-year-olds.
Like
'Cause
why?
We were eating lunch,
Yeah.
Why? It's so dumb.
and we ended up getting taken home by
Like-
cops.
Like what is the what? I don't understand why it has to be escalated so high. Like it's not even like just the police brutality, like the cops who do that. It's like all cops. They're supposed to de-escalate the situation, but they just so many of them show up. It puts the people who are like they're interrogating
Yeah.
basically on high alert. It makes
Yeah.
them nervous and anxious, which then in turn makes the cops nervous and anxious again. And it's just like a bad.
Like, I can understand 2 cop cars,
yeah,
or like at least have 1 more cop than there are people. Like,
yeah. To like just to survey the situation, make sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to do, just
yeah,
accountability
it's a
reasons.
safety and it's accountability and it's a safety thing for
Yeah.
cops. But like, you don't need
But
7.
you don't, right? Like that's ridiculous. I mean, I can understand if they were like had guns drawn, then maybe you could like I'd
Yeah.
understand like you might need to light them dudes up, but
Yeah.
like
The great equalizer.
yeah, like
That reminds me of another time I was in traffic. Same stretch of highway too,
oh god,
and we were going real slow, and there's a cop with his gun drawn, pointing it at this dude.
oh
And
my
this
god,
dude's like, he was out of the car, hands up, back to the cop, and the cop's like trying to yell at him to tell him what to do. He's like telling him to back up slowly, keep his hands where he
Yeah.
can see him. And the dude kept like starting to turn around.
Ah,
The cop starts like
freaking out,
freaking out. He's
Yeah.
like, "Don't do it! Don't turn around!" And like,
Damn.
this dude just like didn't know English.
Oh,
It was so bad.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Someone could have died just because of the language barrier. That's terrible, bro. That's like actually awful.
That's why if you're here, you really, really should learn
It's
English.
for real. Also, don't be someone who's just gonna like try and talk your way out of a cop situation. He's got a gun drawn at you. Just do what the fuck
Yeah.
he says, for the love of God. If he tells you to back up with your hands up, don't try to turn around and talk to that man. Just do it. Just shut up and do it. It's that simple. Like, I feel like those situations, there's 2 parties at play there. One, the cop is obviously going overboard, but with him going overboard, you have to de-escalate the situation yourself by just complying to everything he says. I don't care if he's taking you to the police station and you didn't do anything wrong. It's better than being shot.
Yeah.
Like, don't.
Well, it might not even be the cop going overboard. It might have been something that the guy did.
I mean, yeah, but like, just do what the man says. If he's got a gun pointing at you, just do what they say.
What I'm assuming probably happened is the cop pulled him over, and this dude like pulled over. And first thing he did was get out of the car,
Probably. Yeah.
which you,
Don't do that.
yeah, you don't
Dumb thing.
You don't do that unless you're an old white Republican. Don't do that.
do. No, even then, you don't do that.
But yeah, I feel like, and this cop in Utah, he was overboard the entire way because he literally could have been like, they could have had a civilized conversation and be like, he could just be like, "Ma'am, I'm going to arrest you," and then she could have been like, "No," and then if like that should have been like, the security was there, everything was under control. He didn't have to take it to a point where he had to like physically assault her in order to get done with like.
He didn't even have to arrest her. 'Cause
That's true too, but I'm just saying like, he could have just talked. Like he could have been a human being and just talked. But his pride and his ego and he wants to measure his penis in front of everybody. He had to be a man and control a woman. That's basically what it came down to.
Okay, so since we're kind of on cops and traffic stops and just power trips,
Yeah.
this is kind of along the same lines. This is Indianapolis, 2017. Stopped emergency vehicles crashed into in Indiana so far this year.
Yeah.
20 parked ambulances have been hit, 20 fire trucks, 242 cop cars, 26 highway department workers, and then 74 either tow or repair trucks.
That is funny.
Dude, and these are all like cops who have somebody like pulled over
Yeah.
and are doing their job.
Yeah.
242 cops are their cars.
Yep.
That is outrageous. That's
It is.
way too high. Like,
That's
Yeah.
why
people need to pay attention.
Yeah, that's why we have to be held accountable too. Because even with like black people and police, the relationship obviously hasn't been good forever. But like even we have to hold ourselves accountable to understand that this is the way the relationship works. Either you can choose to do your best to de-escalate it, and if you do, up to that point, it's out of your hands. But just respect them. Like that's all you got to do. I know you don't want to, but that's what you got to do, and just make sure that like you're being as safe as you possibly can.
Yeah. Like, with those numbers right there, it's almost like
They're-
it's more than one a day.
Yeah.
Like, the average.
It's almost like they're intentionally hitting them. Like it's borderline like. That's why I think that you just need to like understand that's a police officer.
But that
just
kind of
respect
does
it.
show like how risky them actually stopping people
Yeah,
is.
I mean, yeah, it's risky. It is, but I mean, that's your job. You signed up for that. I can't change what you decide to do with your life. So you choose that lifestyle. You got to live with it. You were just go ahead. Think. Just think.
Jesus fucking Christ, I'm out of it.
Yeah, I can tell. You're just
So-
staring at the wall.
We were talking about the Hurricane Harvey
Oh god.
that hit Texas last
night,
weekend.
yeah, or last weekend. Yeah, last
Well,
night,
we
technically.
yes, we talked about it last night. But there is another storm, another
Don't
Category
laugh.
5
This
hurricane
isn't funny. Don't laugh.
heading right for the south side.
Don't laugh, George. Don't
Look,
laugh. Don't
I'm
laugh.
sorry, just-
Don't laugh.
Apparently, God is sick of Texas's shit. All right, that's all I can say. Like,
That's
Bro.
It's not
funny.
just Texas though. Like
It's
it's
not.
the entire southern half of the country.
I wonder why.
Is it because the most blacks live there?
This nigga said that out loud.
No, I'm just playing. But
You said that out loud.
I know.
Oh my god.
And he called them the Blacks.
Right? Like
That's some old school Jimmy the Greek shit. The Blacks.
that's so funny.
Do you know who Jimmy the Greek is?
No.
Bro, it's so he was this old like
Comedian, I'm guessing.
no.
Oh, well, look at you
fucking-
broadening your horizons.
He was a sports commentator.
Oh.
Yeah, and he was like really good at predicting games and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they just got this clip of him, and like this was back in the 70s, and like it ended his career. And basically what happened was he just starts bringing up all the shit about why black people are doing so good in sports, and he just goes, "The blacks are superior athletes," because he has this like thick East Coast accent. It's like, but dude, he ran with this.
Yeah,
he
just
fucking, like no, just full sprinting towards this career anymore. He didn't like try to, like it's because back in the slavery times,
you sound
they
Russian as hell right now.
because just his East Coast accent, and then
That's Russian.
it's
not
a
East
horrible
Coast.
fucking East Coast accent.
Okay, I was do you?
And
Go ahead.
yes, they would take the biggest black buck and the biggest black woman, and they would breed them. Just like
Bro, that's low key so racist.
it's
But if you think about it,
Shut
the
up,
sad
shut
part. No,
up.
the sad part is it's true.
Yeah, it's not exactly wrong.
It is because in the slavery times, they would pick the strongest men out of the villages of Africa, take them here, and then they would breed. And then
quick question:
they would,
who's
like,
they
The Europeans.
among other people?
No,
I mean, the
Africans too.
I mean, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but I was just
They
saying,
did
like,
it to their own people too.
I know, but I'm saying like the Europeans
Yeah.
wanted the best, like the
Yeah.
strongest black people, Africans. Not
Is
black
that why
people, sorry.
McGregor's so strong?
Wow,
What the fuck? You mean Mayweather?
McGregor.
McGregor.
what are you talking about?
I think he's trying to
There,
reference.
there were a lot of white Irish slaves too.
Well, he was
Oh
still
my
in
God.
Ireland, so
There's slaves all over the world.
Yeah.
I know.
But we're talking about the black people here, not the
The
redheads
blacks.
and not the redheads in Ireland.
oh god, I'm gonna end this podcast bad.
So
why? Hold on. Why did Hannah text? Like I was talking to Hannah about going over to Europe and where she'd want to go in Europe. She's like Ireland. I was like, why? She's
Are you
like,
kidding me? The Irish have a tremendous culture. I give
but
them
like,
shit all the
but
time.
like, she never has mentioned Irish Ireland ever in the 4 years I've been dating this woman. Never. And she's like, well, all the gingers are there. I'm like, oh my god.
how many souls are in Ireland?
0. I was like, so you just want to go over there and just stare at all your people? And she's like, yeah. I was like, what the hell?
Katie and I were watching a movie, and it was this lady like took a trip to Dublin, and she's with this one Irish dude the entire time. And Katie looks at me and goes, "His hair's not red."
Why is it that everyone thinks redhead people have to be Irish like all the time? It's so great.
So I forget what I was actually looking up, but I was going to look something up a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I literally typed, where do? And the first thing that popped up is, where do black people come from?
Oh, God.
So
oh, shit.
that just shows how often that's searched.
Oh my god, that's funny. That's great. So speaking of minorities and life in general, you guys know the rapper Logic?
No.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil. He's a rapper from Maryland. He's a biracial dude. I'll show you a picture. The audience can look him up themselves because he's famous, so it's fine.
We don't have a link dump.
Yeah, it's okay. We will one day. But basically, he's this biracial dude who wrote this album called Everybody. When I tell you this album is probably the realest album a rap artist has ever put out, I'm not messing with you. Like, he is so real throughout this entire album. He talks about everything. Like, he wrote this album to basically talk about everything that the media won't talk about. So, like, race relations, suicide, depression, anxiety, and like, the gays and lesbians and all those people.
The gays.
Yeah, I know. I was like my dad there for a second. But this dude basically looks white, but he's actually half black. So, that's him.
Oh.
Yeah, and people you should tell him all the time, no, you're white, you're not black. And he's like, well, my dad's black, my mom's white, so yeah, I'm half black. Get over it. But this album is so good because every song in it has a message for a certain minority group, and it's like I think everybody needs to like at least listen to this album just to hear what he's saying because it's just so real, and I like that he's one of the few rappers these days who are still writing real. Like songs about real things that are happening in the world. Like he wrote a song. What's there's like the famous like suicide hotline number, like the 1-800-2 something. I don't remember what it's called. No. Okay. Well,
1-800 don't kill yourself.
Something like that. But there's a song he wrote about that, and it's literally him talking from the perspective of someone who wants to kill themselves. It's real. It's so good. I'm telling you, you gotta check it out, Georgie. Everybody should check it out, honestly. But the reason I bring it up is because I was listening to it in the car the other day, and you know what Killer Mike is. Killer Mike was featured in one of his songs, and he literally at the end of the song, it's called Confess, and at the end of the song, Killer Mike is doing like a speech that I think he actually gave somewhere. I don't know if he recorded for the album or he actually gave it somewhere, but he literally is asking God why he did what he did to black people. Like, why did he put us on this earth the way he did? Why did he put us below the people who enslaved us? Why did he make us subservient? It's the realest speech I've ever heard in my life, dude. I'm telling you, you gotta check it out. It's good shit.
That sounds like some dark shit.
It's so good though.
Do you believe that this is anybody else's fault, but just humans treating each other like shit? Do you believe that God had anything to do with it?
I mean, I believe in a God, and I feel like that God made us in his image. So, I mean...
But then why do we look different?
Boy. So, I mean, there's something out there that controls what happens in the universe. Whether it be science or whether it be actually be like a powerful being, they control it. Whatever it is, it controls it. And it's causing something like this to happen. Or it's letting something like this to happen. Either way, it's the same thing. Because it's like they say, if you watch a kid get bullied and you say nothing, you're just as bad as the kid who's bullying him. Because you're not standing up for someone else who's in need.
Don't agree with that completely.
Why?
It's
So
not
if you see someone
same.
getting their ass beat and you just stand there and watch it, when they did nothing wrong and this other kid is just whooping his ass and you do nothing to stop it, that's okay.
There's a difference between you should and you can. Sometimes you can't.
What do you mean?
Sometimes you can't stick up for that person.
Why?
Okay, so a kid watching his mother get the shit beat out of him by their dad. What is that kid gonna do?
That's a totally different situation than what I
No,
just
it's
brought
still
up.
a bystander.
It's totally
Doesn't
different.
matter.
It's totally different.
Okay, so a woman watching two dudes beat the shit out of each other. Sometimes you really can't. Sometimes you're just gonna.
First of
put
all, there's a
yourself in
difference between
danger.
two dudes just fighting each other because they want to fight each other and someone getting beaten up when they were just standing there doing nothing wrong.
Yeah. No. Fine then. That situation, but a woman is the bystander.
Yes,
Is
she could do
she-
something about it.
What can she do?
She could stand up for the person and say, "Don't do that," and try to stop it.
And the dude will laugh that off as he's beating the shit out of the other dude. Sometimes you can't. Should you? Yes, but sometimes you can't. You're just gonna be.
But you at least have to try. Like, it's fine if you try and try and try and try, and this dude is just doesn't care. At least you gave an effort to try and help this person who is in need. That's better than just standing there watching a man get his ass beat.
You realize also that you could be putting yourself at risk.
So you mean to tell me if I was getting my ass beat, you would just watch it happen?
No, because I can fight.
So how do you know this lady can't fight? First of all, why do you assume a woman isn't strong enough to take down a man? Because I know plenty of women who could rip your ass apart.
Yeah. Okay. Is this woman one of them?
I don't know. She's a human being. She can do everything that you can do.
She can do everything I can do.
Do you say she can't do everything I can do?
No. There is a difference between sexes.
Oh, my God.
That's why we have the Olympics.
You're going to get yourself in trouble.
Not everyone's on the same level.
You're going to get yourself in trouble.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
George, it's dumb to think that another human being that's made up of the same thing you are cannot do what you can do.
You understand the point I'm getting at, though.
No, because at the end of the day, she's still a human being. There are plenty of women in the world who are strong enough to beat all three of our asses.
Yes. But is the average person like that?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't.
You don't know that the average person is strong enough to beat the shit out of 3 other dudes.
I don't know. Because that's using that to like an average person, that's a dumb way to look at that. Because like you said, everybody is different.
That's the
There's not such a thing as an average person.
Okay.
There's an average person when you're talking about statistics, not about real life. Like, you can put average person in a statistic and everyone's like, oh, okay. But in real life, there's no such thing as an average person.
There's an average strength level to a human being.
Oh, my God.
Technically, we are all average.
Who lives a sedentary lifestyle.
But I was going to say, I think...
But why are you assuming all this about this situation? Just as a human being, you should be able to say, I would want to stand up for him.
Yeah, I would want to, but I don't.
Then do it. Stop being a bitch and do it.
I would. Not everyone can do that, though. Some people just can't fight. They don't have it in them.
That's not about...
They can't fight. They're not strong enough to fight. They just don't have that in them. Don't sit here trying to fucking make people feel like pieces of shit for doing something they can't do.
You can stand up to somebody. You don't have to fight somebody to stand up to them.
True, but
like,
what are the consequences of that?
You help somebody out.
You get your ass beat, sent to the emergency room.
Okay.
Because if he's beating the shit out of another person for no reason, what is he going to do to you?
That's fair, but at the same time, it's worse to just let someone literally get the shit kicked out of them and just stand there and watch it.
You know what you also do? Call 911.
That's intervening. That's fine. That's standing up for somebody. But you can't just stand there and watch someone get their ass beat.
Okay, yeah. You made it seem like you yourself have to get the fuck in there and fucking fight him.
You calling the police is interjecting yourself into that situation.
Okay, then...
Dude, you'd whip out your phone, start to dial 911. That dude turn around and throw, like, he'd pick up a brick or something and just hurl it at you.
Basically, the whole point I'm trying to make, don't put yourself in undue danger for strangers. All right? Watch out for you first.
Oh, my God.
That's the whole point of this.
I think you should stand up for your fellow man because that's what we need to do in order to stop being assholes to each other.
Yeah. You ain't got to be a hero, though.
I'm not saying, like, be a hero and, like, if someone's got a gun pointed at somebody, obviously don't run up there and be like, yo, stop. Like, but, like, do something. Don't just sit there and watch it. It's the same thing. Like, there are plenty of people out there who are just sitting there watching people, like gay people, get beat up every day because they're gay. Black people getting killed every day because they're black. And nobody's doing a damn thing about it.
It's because everybody's reaching for their phone, recording it, and yelling world star.
Stop doing that bullshit and help somebody. Stop standing there watching these people die and watching these people get beat up because you want to get hits on the social media. Fuck that. Do something about it. Stand up for each other. That's what you need to do. That's what we need to do as a people, is stand up for each other. I don't care what color you are, whether you're straight, lesbian, gay. I don't give a fuck. Stand up for each other. Stop being bystanders.
Don't get yourself killed doing it.
God. George, you're like the most.
What? Because I don't want people to get the shit beat out of them? In the perfect world, in my perfect world, that wouldn't be happening. People just, you wouldn't have to intervene because nothing would be happening. But
that's not reality, though. That's not the reality we live in.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you have to do? Do something.
Yeah, do something. I'm not,
See, there's been people out there who have tried to make the perfect world, and it just hasn't worked out.
well, it also defines a new term, perfect. Like Hitler had a very different worldview of world
Exactly.
than
Everybody has a different view of perfect.
But we can't expect the world to be perfect.
no, you can't. Don't
But
even think about it.
You can expect the world to be civilized and not act like
Not
barbarians.
really. You can't.
Oh,
Yes, you can.
No, you
yes,
can't.
Yes, you can.
There's too many stupid people out there.
No, just people are animals. At the end of the day, they still have those animal instincts. You can't breed that out. You can't.
But that's what
Get rid of 'em.
the fact that we know that is what separates us from animals.
Yeah,
That's
but
why we
see,
should
no,
be able
dude,
to not be controlled by that.
People are one bad fucking day away from just losing their shit. That's all it is.
What were you gonna say, Phil? I know your mind's running right now.
We were talking about what separates us from
Animals. Yes.
animals. Was it you guys I was talking to about the bird that became like self-aware?
Yes.
Do you remember that conversation?
No.
Yeah, I think it was me, you, and Cody.
Okay. Yeah, no, there was a bird and it could talk. And it saw its reflection in a mirror. And it looked at it and it was like, "Hello?" And then the bird was just kind of like studying the reflection, and then it goes, "What am I?"
That's creepy. Is that not
Like-
creepy?
Did I ever tell you about the AI that became that when they started asking the questions, it freaked the fuck out?
Did you're gonna talk about a goddamn computer when we're having the actual discussion
No.
about a bird?
Because here's the thing. The computer started doing weird shit. It started berating the person asking it questions. Like, I don't have morals. It started saying shit like that. Like, why don't you have children? You're selfish. Shit like that. Like, why don't you believe in God? Like, this thing was going off the rails.
But this is a bird.
It's like that one website that used to be there. You could go on and like ask it things.
No, this was a Google AI.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it used to be able to like be accessed by people to help with it, to help it learn.
It's fucked up.
But imagine if animals did become self-aware. We'd be in trouble. That'd
Trust
be
me,
bad.
zoos would. Well,
Bro,
zoos are already going on.
Have you seen the show on Netflix Zoo?
No.
It's literally animals that basically become a form of self-aware, and they communicate cross-species. And they literally take over the world.
Yeah.
It's the greatest show ever.
They outnumber us.
Oh,
And if you can get
tremendously.
past the gun, where you're just there. Like,
And you can only shoot one animal at a
Yeah.
time, my man. If you got a whole pack of lions around you, you can only aim at one at one time. But
try to
like,
do some Neo shit, just hold it in one hand, spin around as you're fucking.
but that actually that actually happened in the show where these dudes were in Africa, and one of the like Humvees that people take safaris on got attacked by a pack of 5 male lions.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Male lions do not hang out.
Yeah.
If they see each other, they're fighting to the death. But these 5 are like, no, let's go kill a bunch of people. I'm like, that's crazy. We would be so screwed.
Okay. So I was trying to find the article on that bird,
Yeah.
and it was basically marked as self-aware in 2008.
Yeah.
There's only 10 species that have self-awareness. There's humans,
Yeah.
orangutans,
Yeah.
chimpanzees,
Yeah.
gorillas,
Yeah. The things that are mostly closely related.
bottlenose dolphins,
Yeah. That's the other one.
elephants,
Yeah.
orcas,
That makes sense. Yes.
bonobos.
That's a type of monkey.
That's our closest answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it
Relative.
actually looks like a little kid.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
What?
That's our closest relative.
I didn't know they looked like that.
There's, I think it's Rhesus macaques.
A macaw.
Macaques.
Macaques?
Cox. Oh yeah, that's a
Macaques?
type of monkey too.
Is it?
It's macaws.
Oh, yeah. It's,
Macaques.
it's like an even littler kid.
Yeah.
And then the 10th is the European magpie, which is the bird. And it's the most recent one to be entered onto the list.
Wow.
Yeah.
Think of that. 10 species in this world full of thousands of different animals. Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Only 10 of them are self-aware.
It's the only non-mammal to have made the list.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. The odds of that, like, just mathematically, that is damn near impossible. And that's crazy.
Basically what they did is they put different they put like a dot on the bird, and the birds didn't react to the dot. Like, they didn't react to the feel of having that dot on them.
Yeah.
But when put in front of a mirror, they'd start stretching their neck, trying to see, like, what was on them.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This tells me that we need to get rid of
And they're
the
also,
pods.
and those birds are also really well known for stealing stuff and hiding it.
Bro, that's the thug bird.
They're stealing ammunition. Everyone thought it was gonna be apes. Nope, birds. We all saw Aladdin, right? We know what that parrot was capable of.
You said Aladdin?
Yeah,
I don't remember Aladdin very well.
Jafar's little parrot friend.
I don't remember. Oh, is that the one that talked that sounded like he was from New Jersey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, was that who it was?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, self-aware animals, man. That's like, that's. I mean, like, could you imagine going to the zoo and a lion looking at you, and realizing what you are and realizing what it is, and just staring you down, studying you? Weird.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to zoos anymore. I'd be like, hell no.
I don't go to zoos in general because fuck zoos. I don't give a fuck.
You don't like zoos?
No.
Why?
Just because I watched National Geographic. What do I need to see a lion up close for? Why, so I can feel small right next to it? Like, oh, great, that thing can kill me. That's what I need.
I don't know if I ever told you this. One time, me and Hannah went to Christmas at the zoo downtown, and we went into the walrus area. Bro, these walruses were getting it on in front of all these kids. Like, I mean, insertion, pull out, fin, like everything.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Do you think that's one thing that'll come from animals being self-aware? They'll have shame. Like, realize it's just fucking in front
No,
of everybody.
that's part of this. I'm continuing to read this, and that's part of self-awareness. Is
Oh.
they have feelings and they can
Yeah.
like perceive how other people see them.
Yeah, the only ones that I
shit.
can think of besides monkeys are dolphins that have feelings. Because dolphins will get so depressed in captivity they'll fucking kill themselves.
Yeah, they'll also rape things.
They rape things a lot too, yes.
Yeah.
And elephants, like,
They're
they
shitty
have
animals.
feelings.
Yeah. But do you know otter, the rapiest animal of all time? It like rapes dead corpses. I said dead corpses.
Well, so do
It's a
ducks.
corpse.
So they use the mirror test on the elephants too.
Yeah.
And instead of like just looking at itself, it like opened its mouth and was like inspecting its mouth.
That's weird.
Yeah. So like it used its reflection to like look over itself and find anything wrong.
That's weird. We can have an elephant could be a dentist.
And the elephants were smart enough that they didn't just sit there and look at the mirror. They actually like went to the side and like looked behind it, which showed that they actually realized that it was just a mirror and not like something else.
Now, how much of that do now? Because animals do a lot of weird stuff. Like my dog does some weird stuff. But how much of that is just the elephant not knowing what it is and it just like looking at it inquisitively, and the scientist is interpreting as that being self-aware, because you don't know what the elephant's actually thinking.
Well, no, the whole self-awareness thing is they're seeing the reflection and they know it's their reflection. So the elephant knew it wasn't just like an extension of the enclosure, because it was reflecting back the enclosure. So it knew there wasn't like more behind it.
But I'm saying, like, so it opened its mouth, right, and looked in its mouth.
Well, elephants are like the most curious animals ever.
I understand
too.
that, but like, how do you know it just wasn't like opening its mouth because it was yawning and it just turned its head because it was more comfortable to turn its head that way?
But when it takes its trunk and starts like digging around in its mouth,
Elephants put all types of things in their mouth, and that's what their trunk does. It feeds them food. How do you I'm just saying, like, playing devil's advocate. How do you really know?
Do you think an elephant could fire a shotgun?
Oh my god.
I'm just thinking about random animals and how they could overthrow us with their own technology.
That'd be the only ones that would be monkeys because they have thumbs. I mean, elephants
They're
could
shitty fucking thumbs though.
I know elephants could like just use brute force, but like
Yeah.
to use our stuff, you'd have to have an animal with thumbs.
We have tranquilizers, so.
But a monkey could literally probably pick up a Glock, turn it sideways, be like, "What?" and then shoot you. That'd be the most gangster monkey ever.
Yeah, I'd still shoot it.
Yeah. You and
He'd have
animals,
to
man.
figure out how to shoot the gun. Eventually, he'd run out of bullets. He'd have to figure out how to reload it, chamber it, not shoot himself. Meanwhile, I know how, and just pop, just fucking.
You're the only man I know who loves animals but has no sympathy for them whatsoever.
Because I know what they are. You also have to remember who I was raised by.
Greeks.
I was raised not Greeks, not Greeks. Villagers. Villagers. Animals are animals. They're emergency food if you need to be.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh,
The family dog could very quickly stop being the family dog.
I don't remember which. I want to say it was in the Dark Ages. But like Greeks ate dogs
Yeah. You want to know why?
because it was a food source.
Exactly. People are people.
Do you like the taste of dog, George?
I've never had dog.
Mm-hmm. Your people have. Are you one of those people?
I don't know. I've never had
Are
dog.
you a dog eater? Do you kill dogs?
Give me a reason to, I will. Give me a reason. That's all I need. I'm not saying that I hate dogs. I'm not saying I would be cruel to a dog for no reason.
We're gonna be flagged for like animal
Yeah.
cruelty.
But all I need is a reason, and I'll kill it. They're like, you remember like Will Smith in I Am Legend when he had to strangle his dog?
God.
He was putting the
There
dog
would-
out of his misery.
Yeah, there would be no every little thing's gonna be all. The moment he got bit, I would hit that dog with a brick
You're a
and
terrible
move on
person.
with my day.
You're a terrible person.
Yeah, because
You just all like the 30 viewers you just had. You just lost all of them right there because you're a terrible human being.
look. I like dogs. I really do. I still have to convince my grandmother to keep my dog around because she still doesn't like him.
This boy's over here watching videos.
He's educating himself.
I'm actually really interested in this whole like self-awareness test
Are you
thing.
still looking at that damn bird?
Phil's trying to see if he's self-aware. Who am I?
Like, are you really just watching a bird look in a mirror right now?
Like they put the dot like right here on the bird's throat
Yeah.
and didn't react at all. As soon as they put the mirror in there, bird started freaking out. Like, get this thing off of me.
I mean,
It was like, that's not what I look like.
yeah, that's pretty much self-awareness.
Yeah.
But like, but think about how. Have you ever thought about how many like scientific discoveries are just the way we interpret things and not actually what happened?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be some of them
You know
that
the
are like.
brontosaurus wasn't a real dinosaur. It was two that they found intertwined.
See, there's one thing right there.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be interesting to like see if like in like science textbooks what is this interpretation and what versus what actually happened. You know, if there's a lot of like if there's a high rate of that happening, that'd be interesting to see.
Or what thing we've written off as bullshit, but really is true. Like the world
Right.
being flat. I mean, come
Oh,
on,
God.
people. It's time we all told the truth.
Bro, you know what I hate is when people say Christopher Columbus discovered America. Shut up.
I didn't.
You're stupid.
I didn't.
He did not discover America. He just came here after like 3,000 years earlier. Someone else was here.
Wasn't even like the first to do it in that gap of time.
Right, like
Leif Erikson was.
it's just these people, man. This is why I hate elementary schools.
Yeah.
Teaching these kids the
Fuck
wrong
elementary
facts
school.
about life. Like, come on now. How you gonna tell a little kid Christopher Columbus discovered America? Why isn't it named why isn't it named like after him? Like,
Named after Amerigo because he mapped it.
right? Like,
Which, okay, it's fine. But fuck Christopher Columbus. They're attempting to replace Columbus Day with a Indigenous People Day, which I'm fine with.
I feel that's kind of racist though.
Why?
Because like, how you gonna give them a day after you already killed all of them? Like, like there's not a lot of them left. Like, let's be
There's
real.
not, so we might as well celebrate the ones we have left.
No, yeah. After you oppress them for thousands of years, like, come on.
Do you want us to take away Black History Month or
Hell no, that's my
Exactly,
month. Get
exactly.
outta here.
give them their day, Brandon? Give them their day.
Shoot. Listen. Nah,
Th-
I
those
can't.
people have been through enough.
They went about
Those
the
people
same
have been
shit
through
we-
enough.
Yeah, they went about
They
the same
need
stuff
their
we
day.
did. But I'm saying, like, how you at least we got our day 400 years, you know, after they had to they gave them a day. What? It's 2017. This happened back in like the 1100s. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
1100s. No. What the fuck?
It was
Christopher Columbus did not show up in the 1100s. 1500s. 1492.
it was 14. Yeah, 1400s.
Columbus.
There was someone who discovered part of America. earlier
Dude,
than that.
everyone's trying to. Bro, this is how. Look, if you're Greek and you're listening, sorry, but I tell the truth about our people.
Oh god.
This is how up their own culture the Greeks are. Me included, to an extent.
Yeah, you name your dog after your god. Yeah.
Because he's fake, but. People are trying to argue that Greeks discovered the New World because of a certain type of axe found in fucking. In Central America, there's this axe. Like, They're common. They're pretty common. Axes are pretty common.
Right.
Yeah.
Phil is still over here.
Okay.
The self-aware bird. Give us the update. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so no.
He's talking to the bird right now.
Well, no, because we were talking about the Google AI and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I found the website I was talking about
Yeah.
that was more common when we were younger. Cleverbot. Do you remember that?
No.
So I asked it, why is George an idiot?
Oh, go fuck yourself.
It replied, he is not an idiot. And I said, what is wrong with Brandon's arm?
Oh,
Come
And it-
on,
no,
man.
and it-
Just throwing it
and-
out there like
And it
rude.
replied, nothing. I love Brown.
What?
holy shit.
It knows I'm brown. This is
Maybe
so
it likes
real.
UPS. You know.
This is so real.
Because I'm pretty sure it piggybacks off of the internet. So it has like that entire database.
Oh.
But I don't know how it would know.
For context out there, I have a bone disease, and that's why he's talking about my arm like a dick. But that's funny. That he's like, I don't. I love brown. That's pretty good. Not both of you. Look at you two.
I'm trying to find the AI that comes to work because it like
Look at you two.
no, dude, like it's so fucked up. Like
I was reading about it.
this AI is going off. Like I said, it's berating the person for not believing in God, not having children. It's like spouting like, I don't have morals. Why are you asking me these questions? Like that's kind of fucked up from a machine.
How do you know they just didn't program it to say that?
I don't know, but it's still kind of fucked up that a machine gave it that response. I mean, remember that other AI? They let it loose on Twitter, and within a day, it became a 14-year-old white supremacist.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
Yeah. So basically, like, I don't know the entire story, but I know the premise of it. Like, they had an AI who just like, I think he just like read Twitter, like
yeah. They let it observe Twitter.
They just let it read Twitter or whatever. And was it by the end of the day or was it before the end of the day?
It at some
Point during the day, he
Yeah.
became a 14-year-old white supremacist.
14-year-old girl.
White
White
supremacist.
supremacist.
Just from reading tweets about our culture. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's insane.
Which A, what the fuck does that say about the robot that it went with that way? And B, what does that say about us that it was able to go that way?
Screw the robot. It's more about us. The fact that
No, here's the thing. I'm not worried about people wiping out people. I'm worried about the
Shit.
robot wiping out people.
you need to be the people. We're the only things going to kill us. Let's be real here.
Using robots.
That's still our fault.
I sound like a robot. Oh, fuck, it's already starting.
Shut up. But like the fact that in a day or less it became a white supremacist, but yet there's more people in this world that say they're not racist than there are that say they are. You see where that's like sneaky shit. Not okay. That's why like just goes back to when Trump got elected. Didn't trust none of you motherfuckers. None of you. Like get out of here with that. It's garbage. It makes me so mad. It's like I have to walk around like southern Indiana on high alert 24/7 just because I don't know. Like it just and it sucks that has to be like not only my own reality but other black people's reality.
Well, any group, really. I mean,
Yeah,
shit.
I just said black
Dude,
because that's
Yeah,
what I
the
identify
amount
as.
of
but-
paranoia is so great in this country that my father, just because, don't get me wrong, my father's a dark dude, but he was the one randomly selected
For what?
at the airport.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my dad.
Ooh,
He had a beard and he's slightly darker than the rest of the people.
yeah. And he's not even like, he don't even look that dark.
Well, I Also, he has a thick fucking Greek accent. So.
Yeah. But like the fact that we have, I would say a majority of this country has become minorities. Like,
No.
no, for real.
No.
Because you got to take in the fact that the LGBTQ community, they're technically a minority. You got to take in all the immigrants in this country. You got to take in the black people. And a lot of the LGBTQ, there's a lot of white gay people in the world.
Immigrants aren't a minority. I don't consider them a minority. If they're a black immigrant, I consider them a minority. I don't consider a white immigrant a minority.
Oh, I meant like brown immigrants, not like white
That's-
immigrants, but like.
Then
Well,
immigrant has
fuck
nothing
that.
to do with it.
Everybody in America's a goddamn immigrant, so shut up.
I mean, we were born here. I'm not an immigrant.
Oh, shut up. But you know what I mean when I say minorities. You're
Yeah.
just being stupid.
No, it's just I
Oh
don't
my
consider
God.
immigrants minorities. Don't say immigrants. Say,
We're really
people
bad
color.
at talking.
What do you mean?
I'm fine talking.
You guys just don't understand where each other are anymore.
It's just like because he knows what I'm trying to say. He's being an asshole.
No, I'm just saying what I wanted to say. It's not in regards to you. I'm saying what I want to say.
So you mean to tell me
They're having two separate conversations and replying to each other, but they're not.
all I was trying to say was that the people who identify as white American who aren't a part of the minority, like Phil, people like Phil, I feel like there's less of those in America than the people who are either part of the LGBTQ. I'm going to say all immigrants because they don't like.
So I'm a minority.
Shut up.
That's what you just said.
Why?
Because everyone in this country is an immigrant
Shut
unless
up.
you're
No.
Native American.
up.
No.
Gosh.
You said there's less people like me than there are.
Oh my God! Can y'all just let me get this?
LGBT.
Shut up! Just let me. Can y'all please, for the love of God?
Yep.
There are more people that are part of the LGBT community. There's like more immigrants. I'm gonna say all immigrants because the American people don't like people from Russia coming over here and sending their jobs either. All people from below the border. I don't care if you're not white and born in America, you're a minority. And I feel like there's more of those minorities than there are white people. So now white people all have become the minority.
I'm looking up the racial demographics of the U.S.
I mean, I'm probably wrong, but that's just like that's like what I feel like.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like the world is turning into. Like they're losing their control over the United States to the minority groups.
You realize that's why some of them are so scared, right?
Yeah, I know.
That's why David Duke is freaking the fuck out about Trump. Like, we got our country back, buddy. Fucking asshole.
So now you're going to agree with me after you just sat here for 2 minutes and argued that I was wrong.
No, I disagree with you on immigrants being a minority. That's it. Oh, and yeah, I don't agree with. Okay, we were talking about your feeling.
I know.
You can feel that way
But like, how is an immigrant not a minority?
because it's very different. My grandfather, people didn't like him at first, but no one treated him as bad as they did blacks and Hispanics.
Well, because they just
Gay
hated
people.
blacks and Hispanics more at that time. Do you not remember when the Irish and the Asian community came over here? Americans fucking hated them.
Yeah, but
We put Japanese people in a goddamn concentration camp during World War II.
yes.
They're immigrants. Like,
You don't think racism had something to do with that? We didn't do that to Germans.
Oh my God.
We didn't do that to Italians. No, we did that to what's it called? The Japanese.
And guess what? I guarantee you, a lot of people didn't trust the Germans or the Italians when they were over here.
I don't think they cared.
Oh my God.
I really don't.
You're out of your mind.
That's how bad I think of people.
Okay. Whites, including Hispanics who identify as white, constitute
what?
the majority
Yeah.
with a total of 246,666,000, or 77.35% of the population as of 2014.
First of all,
77%.
Hispanics that identify as white, they're just confused.
Apparently that's a thing.
That's not a thing.
Well, going back to the difference between race and culture,
Yeah, they just don't see color, Brandon.
Shut up.
and thus they shouldn't be allowed to drive. Sorry.
But that's
But
like
someone
hold
can
on,
be.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
That's just the race demographic. What about the gay demographic? That cuts into that 77%, which is what I was trying to say.
True.
Is that they're a minority too? So if you add all that up, it's pretty much damn near even. It's got to be close.
Well, it's probably even. And then you have to think about all the ones who still haven't come out. shit like
Exactly.
that,
It's got to be close.
which is sad. It really is.
Yeah.
At this point in our society, there's still people who are scared to come out.
Because people
Yeah.
still die for being gay.
It's fucked up.
Do you not remember the whole Florida club shooting? Like,
Yeah. Fuck.
shit, if I was gay, I wouldn't come out. I'd be like, nope, never mind.
Oh, also,
Recant my statement.
by the way, remember that one time where someone tried to replace the lube in a gay bathroom with acid?
No,
Yeah. That happened.
that's terrible.
You know how they caught him? They'd set up an alarm on the system, on the little box that had all the lube in it. You want to
Yeah.
know why they had the little system on there? Because someone had done that before.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah. People are fucking horrible.
So this was a survey done by UCLA,
Yes.
and I don't know the spectrum of like how many people they interviewed,
Yeah.
but their findings: 61% of white people identify as gay, lesbian, or transsexual. 15% of Hispanics, 11% of African Americans, and 10% were other race.
You see that?
61% of white
of that
people are gay.
77%. That's a lot of people. That white demographic, gone.
Well, there's the white.
I understand that, but the white superior, like this white supremacist or whatever you want to call it, that's gone.
Okay.
Like, it's just like they're losing their power.
All right. So now we have to think about something else.
What?
Are people going to be dicks to them now?
Oh, most definitely.
Do they deserve that?
Hell yes.
Are you going to stand up for them?
Yeah, but I mean, I can still feel like you did wrong, but stand up for you if you just get like. I would stand up for them just because that's the kind of guy I am, but I understand why people are mad at them.
No, I can understand why a lot of people do a lot of things. Doesn't mean it's right.
Oh, I'm not saying it's right at all, but it's going to happen, and I would still stand up for them. Because as much as I identify as being part of the black community, I'm still a part of the white community too.
Yeah.
So I live in both sides of it. Granted, that one side puts me with the other side.
Is it bad that I oftentimes forget you're mixed?
No.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way culture is trained us to think. I'm not mixed. I'm black. I'm brown. Like, that's...
I found the breakdown by state.
Yeah.
4% of Indiana
is gay.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out... I can't click this one, but it's almost 11%. I can't click it to figure out which state it is.
But I'm saying all this about white people losing their power because it is scaring them. You're right, because they've had it for so long. But now that they're losing it, they're trying to do everything they can to keep it, and it's making it worse for them in the long run.
Do you want to know why they're scared you lose it?
Because they've been dicks to us for 400 fucking years.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Even longer. Like, and they're scared that we're going to be dicks to them, which they should be. Granted, is it right? No.
Are you going to be dicks to them?
I mean, I'm personally not going to.
If this happens, it will be the defining moment of the human race. When finally, after a group that has beat the shit out of people, oppressed people for so long, finally loses that power, are people going to let them slide?
It's inevitable. Because there's extreme sides in every single group.
No, but as a whole.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because as soon as something happens, as soon as the black people start attacking white people because of what they did, or if gay people start doing it, or Arabs start doing it, or Mexicans start doing it, those left groups are then the media is going to make that represent the entirety of that culture or that group.
I'm not talking about representation. I'm talking about the reality.
It's no. I don't. I have to feel like no, because I know I'm not going to. I know our friends that are black and Hispanic, they're not going to, but you don't know. You don't know until it happens.
I hope not. I hope, like I said, if that moment ever happened, it would be the defining moment of the human race.
Oh yeah, it'd be.
Honestly, if nothing bad happened to them as a whole, if as a whole all the people who are oppressed do not then turn on the oppressors when they finally have the power to do so, my heart will go 3 times that size that day.
We'd win.
Yeah, I know.
We'd be the winners.
Yeah, I know.
We would prove that we're not like them.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do. We need to separate.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, true.
We need to separate us from them because that's the problem. Because everyone feels like I feel like it. All those riots we had in Baltimore and even back in L.A. back that long ago, even though it's not really long, it was like what 70s, 80s.
It still matters. It
Yeah.
still happened.
But those made me think that when that happens, because it is going to happen, shit's going to hit the fan. And a lot of people have to decide which side of the fan they want to be on because...
Or which side of the fan they're going to be allowed to be on.
Yeah. And the other thing I think about is, what if I decide to stand up for the people who have been oppressing us for so long just because it's the right thing to do? What are they going to do to people like me? Are they going to associate me with not being black anymore because I stood up for people who have oppressed us? Are they going to attack the ones who are standing up for them? It's a dangerous dynamic.
It's scary.
Yeah, but
not because white people are losing power, but because there will, if this does happen, there
it's
will
going
be
to
horrible,
happen.
horrible fucking things that are going to happen to people.
You do have to look at the fact, though, that, like, the white race in and of itself yes, it's fucking huge. But it is decreasing.
Yep.
And it's been
That's true.
continuously decreasing for a while, and it's just going to keep
Because
decreasing.
we're making mulatto babies.
Butterscotch.
And that is true. That is something you have to look at. But, I mean, let's be real. There are a lot of racist kids our age. But that's, like, dwindling down. So, like, the younger the generations go, like, the longer the... What's the word I'm looking for? The generations down the line, I hope, are going to be... The newer generations down the line, I hope, are going to be less and less and less and less prejudiced. And then it just happen, and then it's just gonna be the old people that are left, like kind of like it is now, but just to a more drastic extent.
Yeah.
And then we can just like not. I'm gonna say weed these people out, not kill them. Just like let them, kind of slowly die off, and hopefully one day it becomes to a point where racism and prejudice is such a small percentage of the population, it's not that big of a deal anymore. That's the ultimate goal, really. But it's not going to get there with black people turning this around and being like, "Oh, it's our turn now," and having white people picking fruit in a fucking field. Like that's just not gonna work.
It wouldn't be fruit in a field; it'd be the dog shit in the backyard.
True though.
Not to mention. How many white people would die of skin cancer? You know they're not gonna give them some sunscreen.
True.
It'd be all the swarthy motherfuckers like me.
There's a
Even
lot
then
that
I'd die eventually.
there's a lot that goes into the future of race relations in
Which
America.
Is kind of like the whole purpose of this podcast is to spread like.
We have to talk about these things because if no one does, then.
Well,
fuck.
I mean, like, yeah, like we're not racism.
Words.
Yep. Racism is not just going to like end.
No.
It's going to just kind of keep going away.
Slowly but surely it will.
You know how our parents' generation was, and
Yep.
the generation of our grandparents' generation, and then like you look at where we are.
Yeah. There's the big
three
difference.
of us
It's a big difference.
sitting in a room.
No, that
would not have happened in our
grandparents.
grandparents.
Not have happened.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
It's a sad fucking reality.
Yep.
But
And-
like it's just gonna keep, like you were saying, it's just gonna be the newer generations. It's just gonna get better and better. There's gonna be issues for a while, but eventually it'll all even itself out, or the world will blow up. We don't know.
And I like one thing about this podcast that I think is important is that we're at the end of the day, we want people to see this. We want as many people to see this as we can. But for me, if we educate the 50 people that watch this podcast every time we do it, I don't care if it's our friends and family. If we're educating people about it, that's just us helping this process more. And that, to me, is more important than having 3 million people look at this podcast or listen to this podcast. Because the more people you educate about it, the easier this transition is going to become.
Hopefully, one day
We do hit that 3 million.
we do,
On the low.
but hopefully one day
This won't be an issue.
we're not gonna have this issue, and we won't really have a need for our podcast.
No, don't say that. That's the best. Don't put that in the world.
We don't have to educate people anymore because people understand. Like
No,
that's
because some people do weird shit like talk to me with their dick out, and I still gotta vent,
Oh
and
my
I can't
God.
yell at them because at the time my dick will be out.
some people are just too friendly, George.
Yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, even if like this podcast, heaven forbid, doesn't make it that far, again, hate to put that in the world, but it's reality. It's if it helps in any kind of way, that's the most important thing for us, at least, is that it helps and that we educate people and that we teach people. We give people the option
To listen.
to listen and to listen to what we have to say and to see how this generation or our demographic within this generation thinks.
And what we're gonna do to like make a difference.
Yes. Because the Midwestern kids of America are not going to say in jack shit. We're the flyover states, man.
Doesn't mean we can't go over your head, bitches.
Bro, I can't believe you actually said that. I thought we agreed that was never going to happen.
I made it happen.
Yeah.
I'm ambitious like
He
that.
actually snuck it in there.
He snuck it in there. That was
You
George's.
set him up for it.
That was George's planned outro in the beginning of this whole process. He's like, what was the whole line?
It was my fucking stupid like, oh, just because we're from a flyover state doesn't mean we can't go over your heads.
Like,
Fucking so cool.
You set him up perfectly for that, Brandon.
Yeah.
I low-key didn't mean to, but it happened. Oh, Jesus, George. I was wondering if, like, as I said it, I was like, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
Stop me. You can't stop me.
He wanted that to be the outro so bad.
Don't act like I made a major campaign. I just threw it out there, and then you're like, eh.
You said it like 4 times.
Yeah, because we were discussing it 4 times.
So, I think with that, are we going to wrap it up?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably.
Just remember, I can't even do it again.
Don't do that.
I feel too low. It's okay.
Because then it's going to be something we have to do,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to be like,
Brandon?
my name is Baby Ice Cube on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me. Follow the podcast, too. You know, we need those people's follows us.
Subscribe and shit. God damn it.
Yeah, like, too.
And share.
And, yeah, fucking share.
And comment.
Yeah, comments
Oh,
are good.
yeah.
Yeah, low-key, have a discuss. If y'all, I don't care if y'all agree with us, disagree with us, or hate us. Let it, like, talk about it.
We'll have a conversation in the comments.
Yeah, we'll talk to y'all.
We'll comment back.
We don't care. We thugs. We do what we want. Sorry, George, go ahead.
All right. My name is George Georgopoulos. You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. D Bopoulos.
Phil Seaman. Find me on websites at OG Philly G. And with that, thank you for listening. Just because we're a flyover state does not